This video will show you how to install and use the Stylac Fiber Laser Marking Machine. First, please remove all the package cover the machine. Take out the accessories. Take out the machine and put it in the location. Check the surface and marks, whether it is same as your order. If any problem, please give feedback to us. Connect the power cord and tighten. Connect USB cable. Connect the foot pedal cable. Connect the other end of USB cable to computer. Insert the USB flash drive into computer. Copy all USB drive files to desktop or another location you chose. We put them to desktop. Extract them to their respective folders. Each folder corresponds to different f-theta lengths. The folder contains manuals, drive, font, software, and configuration screenshots. This is the location of drive. Computer, manage, device manager. Then you can see unrecognized device -USB LMCV2. Press right button update device software. Browse my computer for device software. Browse and find the location of drive. Driver USB 卡驱动 X64 AMD LMCVRU. Next, waiting for installation to complete. OK, it's done. Windows has successfully updated your driver software. A new hardware emerged, BJJCZ device, Laser Mark Control Board V2. Now we can open SCAD software. Draw a text and put it to origin. Now we can match screenshots with software one by one. Workspace. Field. Laser control. Other red light points. Port. External access. These screenshots are very important. They will correct your parameters when you reinstall the software. If you lose the screen and USB drive, you will need to manually measure and adjust all those parameters, which is very complex. Copy folder name. Send EZCAD to icon to desktop. Rename it and paste. Perform the same operation on the other two folders. New is used to create a blank workspace to construct objects. When New is clicked, the software will curse the documents, which you are editing, and meanwhile create a new file. If the documents you are working on have not been saved yet, the software will prompt if you would like to save it. Open is used to load the save.ezd file. When you select the valid.ezd file, the dialog will display the preview of the file. You must have saved the preview when you save the file. Save file is used to save the current state of a marked document to disk. Save as is used to write the current marked document to disk by another name. If you select Save Preview Image, you will see the preview when you open the file. Refer to Open function. Then you can import vector files and bitmap files. Print is used to print the images you are working with. Scan images is used to get digital graphic object from twin device. System parameter configures the software. This icon of system parameter in toolbar. In general, common parameters can be configured. Unit type, millimeter, and intro two options can be selected. Paste X and paste Y, the relative offsets to the previously object when paste. Set paste X to 12 mm. Draw a rectangle and size X to 10 mm. Copy and paste. The spacing between the rectangles is 12 mm. Set it to 20 mm. Copy and paste. The spacing between the rectangles is 20 mm. Paste Y same. Grid, show or hide the grid. Grid space, adjust the distance in grid. Input IO mask. User could choose IO port through input IO mask. Output IO mask. User could choose IO port through output IO mask. Enable mark mutex. This option is used to synchronize the SCAD program with third-party programs. Color is used to set the color of background, workspace, guideline, and grid, etc. Double-click the color stripe could change the color wanted. The set of the workspace's property contains setting the size, type, and position at the workspace. This space is corresponded with the available working field of the laser machine, and any object drawn in this area will be marked in operation. Due to the limit of the field, those objects drawn out of this space may not be marked. The workspace is the rectangle or circle area in the main interface window. Show center cross line. Autosave refers to the interval time between the automatic saves. Move rotate. Nudge distance, the distance that the object moved one, pressing direction keys each time. Big nudge scale indicates the number the user wants to time the nudge distance so as to achieve further each time when synchronously press direction keys and shift key together. Rotate angle, the angle the object rotates each time when press direction keys and CTRL key together. Object's origin. When use put-to-origin function, which point at the object should be put on the origin? Set input pointer to 1. You can see number 1 point was placed at the origin. Plug Manager. The list displays the SCAD software plug which has already been installed in the computer. User Manager. Users in choosing whether to use the current software must to input the user password. The box below is used to define the permissions that an account has. Language. This item is used to change languages. Changes will take effect when restarting the marking software. Image library. Save image in the library, then take it out when wants to use. The filling effect will not be copied. Recent file list. A list shows the latest document files opened. Exit the SCAD software. Edit menu carries out the editing operation of an object. Undo will undo the last action. Example. Redo will redo the last action which has just been deleted. Cut, copy and paste. Combine and combined. Combine will ignore all the selected objects' curve properties and combine those objects into a new curve combination with new curve properties. Uncombined will get the combination back to the curve objects separately. Group, ungroup. When selected, the group function will keep the selected object's original properties and make them into a new object. Ungroup will turn the object which has just been grouped into previous situation. Hatch. We recorded a dedicated video to explain Hatch. ToCurve turns the current selected vector graphics object into curve object. ToDash turns the current selected vector graphics object into dashed object. Perform an offset operation on the shape. Delete all curve or not. Offset dist, the distance between the old curve and original object. reverse offset. Make the text into group according to each character, and then object name of the group is the name of the character. Ungrid text. Each letter becomes a separate object and can be filled individually or multiple. Point. The mouse pointer will be changed into a cross feature. Press the left button of the mouse. A dot can be drawn. Curve. Draw a curve. Line. Draw a straight line. Press right button of the mouse to finish. Rectangle. Draw a rectangle. You can set round the corners in the properties bar. Circle. Draw a circle. Here you can set the diameter and straightening angle of the circle. This icon can set the direction of the circle, clockwise or anti-clockwise. Ellipse. Draw a ellipse. Here you can set start angle and end angle. Polygon. Draw a polygon. Here you can input the number of edges. Set up a starting point to type characters by left-click mouse. Here you can enter characters. For more instructions, please refer to the text column. Bitmap file. Add a photo to workplace. Vector file. Add a vector file to workplace. The current supported vector file formats are PLT, DXF, AIDST, SVG, and C, but time. Input the time lapser. Waiting time. The marking will pause until the specific time has passed. Input I/O. The software will pause until the input signal enter. Output I/O. The system will export a signal when the operation is taking place at the current output port. X-axis. Enable extension axis 1 or 2. You can set whether to return to 0 or rotate a few pulses. Encoded distance is used to test the motion distance in FlyMark. Spiral. First draw a circle, then you draw a spiral line. Here you can set parameters. The icons on the toolbar are basically the same as the options. In the Draw menu, put the top two icons, Pick and Edit node. Select all. Select all objects. Select Others. Select all other objects except the current one. Delete Object. Delete all objects selected. Undo. Lock. Lock the object selected. When locked, users cannot take any operation on the locked object. You can choose or move it. Unlock. Unlock the object locked. Unlock all. Unlock all objects selected. Put to origin. Put object selected to origin. Pick by pen. Use different pen to select objects. When clicking on the pen node, all objects that use this pen number can be selected. Mirror X left and right. Mirror Y up and down. Hide object. When hidden, you can see or select them. You can select them from object list on the left only. Click this icon can show object selected. Edit node. You can modify an object sharp by editing the nodes. Click any point on curve. A black dot will appear. Click this icon. You can add this dot to curve. Now you can adjust curve by editing the dot. Delete node. Delete node selected. Separate node. The node selected will turn to separated nodes. Unite node. Combine to separate nodes. Here is Modify menu. Array. Array the object selected. First select the object. Click Array. Check rectangle and set parameters, such as array number and offset distance on X and Y. Now, it's circle. Set array number and array radius, and start angle and angle difference if needed. Array completed. We don't need array text. Transformation. First is move. You can set its position. Rotate your object. You can set angle here. Center, you can choose the coordinates of the current selected object data mark. Mirror the current selected object. This icon is vertical mirror. This icon is horizontal mirror. We'll check both of them. Zoom your object. You can resize them here. Lean the current selected object. Enter the opposite value if you want to return to the original state. Plastic. Define the operation to be performed when two shapes intersect. First icon means join two close intersect areas into one. Select one object, click Weld and select the other one. Done. This icon means share a close intersect area contained in another. First, select the shape that needs to be cut off. Click Trim tool and select the graphics that need to be retained. Done. Or you can save source object or target object by check here. Do it again. Yes, this is save source object. This time, we cut the rectangle from the circle. Like this. This icon means pick up the intersect part of two close intersect areas. Select one, click intersect two, and select the other on. Done. Distribution. Several objects distributed as considering regular. First, select these objects at least 3 and click Distribution. Select Distribution Rule and OK. These objects will be adjusted according to the distribution rules. Result. Change the marking route. Trim, when chosen, will show one shears. When the shear moves to the line, will become blue color and then can cut the line. It can only cut shapes or lines and cannot cut text, shape edit, graphics, or combinations. Curve edit. Break cross point. You can set the distance between 2 points break. Auto connect to wire ends with a distance less than the set value will be merged into one. Align the selected objects. Select them and click direction of alignment. JSF font. We don't use this function. View menu is used to set every option for view in the SCAD window. This is system bar, shortcut bar for some common tools. Here is zoom bar. This is draw bar. Status bar, seed and size information of the selected object. Object list contain all objects in the project. Object property. Position X, Y, Z, the coordinates of the selected object's reference point. Size X, Y, width and height of the object selected. Lock, unlock the current width, height proportion of the object selected. Object reference point. Mark parameter shows some setting about marking project. Uncheck use default pairing. You can adjust marking parameters. Power, speed, frequency are parameters frequently adjusted. You can also set the parameters you adjust as default parameters. There are horizontal and vertical rules. This is a grid. This is guideline. You can pull them out from the ruler. Draw toolbars can be displayed or hidden by selecting corresponding options in View menu. And also the zoom bar can be displayed or hidden. When there is a square root selected in front of the submenu, the corresponding toolbars or status bar is visible, and if not, they are hidden. You can also hold down the left button and drag. Put it in a comfortable place. The drawing toolbar can also be dragged. Object list and object property. This is zoom bar, and there are 7 types for different requirements. Zoom window. Press left button of mouse. The current view will zoom in for one time with the mouse pointer's position as the center. Press right button of the mouse. The current view will zoom out for one time with the mouse pointer's position as the center. And you can use mouse to select rectangle area to zoom in. Zoom pan. To move the current view by press left button of mouse. You can press middle button of mouse to do same operation. Zoom in. Zoom out. Zoom all. Show all objects. Including the objects outside the workplace. Zoom pick. Zoom in on the selected object and place it in the middle. View workplace. View of the entire workplace. Capture grid. The new object will attach to the grid. Capture bullet line. When the object approaches the guide line, it will attach to the guide line. Capture entity. When an object approaches a key point, it will attach to it. Like endpoint and midpoint. Else state. Gray means low level, green means high level. Special, for specific functions. Change text. Replace the specified text with the target text. Align this text. Enter replacement text in change to. You can replace multiple at once. As end text, to add, del, reset the serial number. Add. Del. Reset. IPG setting. It connects computer and laser through serial line 4. Series of IPGM laser, and the laser can send the status signal themselves to the software, like temperature, power state, read phase 3D from file, input the STL file and slice it into different Z coordinate layer. The function need to be used with SCAD for Z version. 3D surface layering requires the use of an extended axis with a motor, driving the galvanometer move up and down to change the focus position of the laser, with each layer corresponding to a Z value. Laser, we will make a dedicated video to explain. Help, this box will display some information about the software. For example, the edition, the user authorized and the copyright. First, we draw a rectangle. And don't lock aspect ratio. Set the size 20 and 20. Click Apply, pick, put to origin in order. The rectangle is placed in the middle. Select the rectangle and click Hatch. Mark contour. When checked, the graphic outline can be marked. This icon may mark contour after hatch. This icon may mark contour before hatch. Hatch 1, 2, 3. Check Enable. You can adjust the parameter or it can be adjusted. Like OCal, follow as drawn, crosshatch, angle, pin node dot everything. The same to 2 and 3. You can check 2, you can check 3, you can check 1, you can check all of them. Next, let's take a look at OCalc. Draw a circle near the rectangle. Select these two shapes and check all calc. Set line space to 1 mm. The filling lines inside the circle and rectangle are aligned. You can see every line are aligned one by one. Uncheck all calc, hatch again. The filling lines inside the circle and rectangle are staggered. Every line is staggered. Now we delete the circle and select the rectangle. Next is follow edge on. It refers to the edge of the fill line. It is different from contour. Contour means the contour of the rectangle, and edge means the edge of the fill line. Next is the demonstration. The filling properties of the sharp will appear on the left, and the hatch button above will become unavailable. We set the edge offset to 1 mm. The inner line is edge. And the distance of two lines is 1 mm. The outer line is contour. Uncheck follow edge on and click apply. The edge disappears. Uncheck mark contour. And the contour disappears. We set the edge offset to 0 and apply. All fill types and take a demonstration. This one is from left to right and up from right to left, the begin and end of contact. And this is the same, but it can skip blank area. This one is from left to right and left to right again. This is from left to right and right to left, again and again. And this is some rectangles from outer to inner. Here is demonstration. Three, 4 and rectangle. Cross hatch means fill each line at a 90-degree angle once. It means hatch twice and the angle is 90 degrees. Let's see. It's like this. We set the angle to 45 degrees and apply. Now we check crosshatch dot hatch twice and 90 degrees. Create a new text. We need check log when resizing. We did wrong, so we delete it and do it again. Click this button, set the text to middle, and it's the only area you can see. The hatch will appear on the left and top after hatch. It's different from graphic hatch. The graphic hatch, the top bottle is unavailable. Click Pen now. You can choose required layer. Each layer corresponds to a set of adjustable parameters. Set loop count to frame pen 0 and click Mark. Let's go. 1、2、3、4 and contour. Set count to 3 on the left dot now. Is the marking count 3 times, 4 times, or 12 times? Can you guess this? Let's mark. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and contour. It's 3 times, and this is the rule. Let's see the line space. It's 1 millimeter now. And this is 0.1 millimeter. Now it's 0.01 millimeter. You can see nothing, a block. You can see them after amplification. Average distribute line. Check it and apply dot seam as nothing different. We set this to 0.7 millimeters. You can see small gaps up and down if unchecked. We check it usually. Edge offset means the distance from the fill lines to contour. Like this, 1毫米. And we set it to 2 millimeters. Look. Start offset means the distance form, the beginning of fill lines to contour. We set it to 1 millimeter. Like this dot, it's not obvious. So we set it to 2 millimeters. And then offset mean the distance from end of fill lines to contour. Linear reduction. Set it to 2 millimeters, like this, the left side and right. And this is 4. Num loops and loop distance, the contour edge of fill lines, and the distance of them. We set num loops to 2, and distance is 0.5 millimeters. Now we set num loops to 3. Today we will learn about the application of text. We can click text in the DRAW menu. Or we can click this icon in Draw Tool. Press mouse left button, we drop a string of text. ASCII supports 5 types of fonts: DrawType font, single line font, dot matrix font, barcode font, SHX font. The number after the font type refers to the number specified font in the system. DrawType font, our most commonly used font. JSF font, line text. Dot matrix font, just dot matrix. Barcode font, common QR codes. SHX font, this font is not available in the system. Drop a string of text. Choose a font. Change the text content at this position, and you must click Apply. We enter Stylac, press Enter, and then enter Sign 2003. Apply. You can hatch them. Click this icon, you can adjust the format of text. Left aligned, center, and right aligned. 3 text alignment methods. Bold and italic. Vertical arrangement. Chart width. Note its scale. Change it to 100%. Not beautiful, 50% is good. Angle and char space. The angle and spacing of characters. Line space, the distance between two lines of text. Circle text. Set diameter. Base angle, the angle of the reference point. Now it's 90 degrees. This is 180 degrees. Angle range limit. When check, no matter how many characters are entered, they are confined to this angle. Flipping inside and outside. The characters has been transferred to the inside of the circle. Auto model automatically adjusts the distance between the letters. Border space. Calculate distance from edge of text. Text steps. We can adjust parameter, set at 20. Apply. Center space. Calculate based on the center position of the text. So with the same parameters, it appears more compact. Height, the height of text. We change it from 15 to 10. Enable variable text. Add several functional modules after check. Click Add, adding a variable text function, divided into 9 items. Fixing text, serial number, date code, time, TCP, IP, serial, file, keyboard, SQL database. Present separately. Fix text. Directly replace the original text. Enter text in this dialog box. Serial number. Start SN. Current SN. Limit. This is the SN code. Date code, date element. Choose as time element. TCP, IP, serial, and file. Keyboard. During the processing, user input text mark. Display place input text. In practice, external devices as barcode scanners can also be used for input. SQL. Read from database. Serial number. Add 1 for each marking. Keyboard. Pop out a dialog box when you click mark, then enter by keyboard. At this moment, the marking machine start mark 123. Advance, an advanced feature. Enable split string to change other text entity. Create a new text. Double-click here and name it 1. Select variable text, keyboard, and advance. Check it and add. Set the starting character, number of characters, and name of the target text. Text has disappeared. Click mark, enter text. Take a look what happened. This string has become the 3 characters we input. What happens when we input more characters, such as 2003? Only 200. The content of marking depends on the input text and parameters set. Connect the rotating axis cable to the rear interface of the equipment. Fix the rotation AIX slightly in its general position. Clamp a long and straight object. Confirm the focal length. Adjust through the upper handwheel. Draw a straight line, unlock the proportion, size, X20. Put it to origin. Click Light. Adjust the position of the rotation axis so that the red line is in the model of the long stick. Fasten screws. Check if the long stick is level with the small level. If it is not level, loosen the screws at the back for adjustment. Adjust the angle of the rotation axis to make it horizontal, then fix the screws. Rotary marking. Enter a few characters. And C. The z-axis value is assumed to be their angle relative to 0. Hatch them. Center, set the C value of 20. Then B, set the C value to 50. And C is 100. Rotary marking. Continuous and mark, selected. Theorem, pulses per round. It is determined by the settings of the drive, invert, control the rotation direction of the motor. These other parameters generally do not need to be adjusted. Uncheck 0. Light and mark. Red light is a rectangle. You can see them rotating and marking at angles of 50 and 100. Rotary marking R. When you uncheck 360-degree mark, the following learning is mark 2 times with a 90 interval between each other. We set up marking 5 times and mark. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The angle between them is 90 degrees. Now check 360-degree mark. It means mark 5 times evenly within 360. The angle of them is 72. Multi-file mark, power ruler, ring text mark, project mark are some dedicated functions that is not commonly used, so they will not be introduced here. Rotary mark, splitting and marking objects. You can check full or split. or check mark by split line, then you need set the split line by yourself. If you check both at the same time, it will execute mark by split line. You can add a dividing line by double-click the left button and right-click to delete the dividing line. We check force or split. Per diameter, set the diameter of the cylinder. It's 14 millimeters for me. Focus length, enter the focus length. It's 305 for me. Split size, enter the size of each rotation of the rotation axis. I set it to 0.5 millimeters. Let's mark a vector diagram for demonstration. Import the vector graph. Hatch. Zoom peak. Rhodity and mark. You can see it's a red line. The size of each movement is 0.5 millimeters. DNO, and back to the origin position. Rotate text mark. Mark text on rotation axis. Per diameter, enter the diameter. Mark. Split mark 2. It can be used for splicing and marking. For split and for all split, the difference is whether two. For segmentation on smaller shapes, arrows can control the rotation axis, and you can also use CTRL plus to operate. Split size. Per diameter. Mark.